This is Open Line on the VOCM Big Land FM radio network.
Welcome back to the show. Let's go to line number one. Adam, you're on the air.
Hey, buddy. How's it going?
Doing okay. How about you?
Oh, not too bad. Just baking in the heat here today.
Yeah, it's pretty warm out. I guess that's all part of it. I think I want to go for a dip in the pond this afternoon.
Yeah, that's not a bad idea. Well, I was reading 28 degrees here before 10 o'clock this morning, so pretty hot.
Tis that.
Yeah, I just wanted to have a chat about some more Crown Line stuff. I saw the North Atlantic Refinery had an announcement last week about a wind hydrogen proposal, and they came out announcing that there was over 10,000 hectares of land, Crown land, designated, set aside for this wind hydrogen project, and they were saying that they're very confident that there are no issues with the dispute of ownership over that land that they've set aside for North Atlantic. So I mean, over 10,000 hectares, it's over 25,000 acres of land that they're making available for a wind hydrogen project. They're saying that they're confident there's no dispute over the ownership of the land, but I mean, that really means nothing, as we all know from the conversations we've had over the years. I mean, they don't know who owns what land or who has a claim to what land, and for somebody like me, for 1 acre of land, they'll take you to court and force you to go through a quieting of titles application to declare your ownership so that everybody has an opportunity to say whether or not they dispute it or not. But when it comes to themselves, they own the Crown land and they own the legislation, and they can just pass it out as they see fit without any kind of a quieting of titles application or any court action to justify their ownership of it.
Yeah, it seems like it's not exactly a one-size-fits-all. There's, I guess, depending on your size, your clout, and who you are versus where you are, kind of gets a little bit of preferential treatment here. And, of course, some of this happened while I was away and blissfully tuned out from some of the news. But it's something I got to chase here today.
Yeah, well, I mean, I just think that it's all, typical government short-sighted decision-making. They're saying... There was quotes on there from Minister Parsons saying about how it's a great project and it's going to produce hundreds of millions of dollars worth of revenue for the province and all that kind of stuff. But I mean, and I'm not here to say yay or nay for any of these wind hydrogen projects because I'm no expert in any of that. So I don't necessarily have a problem with the North Atlantic wind hydrogen project as it is, but you can't just put on your blinders and make a decision based on, this project has the potential to produce hundreds of millions of dollars worth of revenue for the province. When, I mean, as I've said before, I mean, the Abbotts had a negative financial impact of over $50,000 from the whole turmoil that was involved with this 1 acre of land here. And there's an estimated, tens of thousands of properties in the province with the exact same issue. So, I mean, if you tally up what that would cost the people of the province, it's literally over $1 billion. So you can talk about hundreds of millions of dollars of positive financial impact to the province, but then they just ignore all of these privately owned properties that they're going to cost over $1 billion worth of damages to the people of the province.
Yeah, if it tallies up.
No interest in fixing it. They didn't do anything. Every single sitting of the House of Assembly, they say, oh, we're going to do something, and then they just don't do anything. And this spring, it really seemed like they were going to, and they didn't. And now they're just they're basically on summer vacation here now. I can't even get a response from anybody on these issues until the fall sitting, when hopefully they'll do something about it then. But they don't have a good track record, so I don't have much faith.
Yeah, they're making a lot of vague references to Section 36, which is really one of the most problematic pieces of the legislation. But, I mean, the tally that you use for if the amount of land that may indeed be considered and going for a quieting of titles and all the cost and the frustration and the time it's going to take, it will add up to an exorbitant amount of money being spent by individual property owners through no fault of their own, unbeknownst to them. They have a home or a business operating on Crown land. I think the assertions that have been made in the past is that if government is simply in this to make money off Crown land versus what is their mandate is to do what's in the best interest of the people, then we're a long way between the two. So I heard Jerry Byrne, who's now the minister responsible for this file, making some references to Section 36, whether it be quieting of titles or squatters' rights or whatever the case may be. The fact of the matter is, people who know way more about it than me, including Greg French and others, have put forward some very fundamental, pragmatic proposals that will not be reinventing the wheel, maybe just putting us more in line with other provinces that don't have two distinct different arms dealing with the one issue, in this case Crown lands. So I don't know whether or not there's a lack of understanding of the issue or the lack of the want to deal with, whether it be Pleman Forsey's private members resolution that hit the floor, had some debate, didn't get much in the way of traction, didn't have any proposed amendments, and we're just sort of spinning our wheels, and it really doesn't make a whole lot of sense.
Yeah, and I mean, I've been involved with conversations surrounding this for nearly 4 years now, and, I'm starting to come to the realization that, I mean, obviously Jerry Byrne or Elvis Lovelace or nobody who's given this portfolio is an expert in all of these matters, because that's not what they are. They're not experts in fisheries, forestry, agriculture, or Crown lands. But they're relying on, the deputy ministers, assistant deputy ministers, all the senior bureaucrats that are involved in that department and are working this job every single day for years or decades. So, I mean, all of those people are working with these problems, land title issues, every single day, and those people know how prevalent this problem is and how serious it is. So, I mean, they should really be speaking with now Minister Byrne to let him know how serious this problem is, rather than, it's not Minister Byrne who's taking everybody to court over their land. It's these bureaucrats who are getting the applications come across their desk, and they are the ones who are signing off, and yes, we're going to take this one to court, yes, we're going to take that one to court. So, I mean, those are the people who are involved with it every single day, and those are the people who should be working towards a way to solve the problem and talk to the minister responsible of the day about what the solutions would be to solve the problem. But it doesn't seem that they're doing that. They're just continuing on the status quo as it is right now, and it's just dragging on longer and longer and costing everybody a whole lot of time and money.
That's the way it looks anyway from where I sit.
Yeah, and I mean, I'm not, my business here has been severely negatively impacted by all this, but I mean, I'm not a multi-million-dollar North Atlantic type company, so they don't really even have any consideration to talk to me. Literally don't have any consideration to talk to me. I've been trying to get a hold of somebody in that department to have a meeting about this for months now, and I don't even get so much as a response to an email. The only response that I've got from anyone in that department is an automatic reply to an email saying your request or your email has been received, and we will be getting back to you as soon as possible. But nobody ever does.
Silence is deafening. I'll say this until the end of time. It might not be the answer you want, but an answer is better than silence. It just always will be, and yet big corporations and governments can't seem to figure it out. Yeah,
and I mean, the big corporations got no trouble getting a response from anybody, which is, sort of understandable. I mean, the companies, and they can provide lots of revenue and lots of employment and all that kind of stuff, but I mean, that doesn't justify ignoring everybody else.
I agree with you 100%. Adam, anything else you want to say this morning before they flag me off to my final break?
No, that's it, Paddy.
Good to have you on the show. Appreciate the time.
Yeah, thank you.
You're welcome. Bye-bye.